you look at this guy and you're like, who are you? Seriously, who are you? What is this? It's actually scary. It's actually disturbing. And the reason I say that I've witnessed this my whole life, I've watched all these developments. I watched the original nuclear deal get signed, and I heard all the arguments about it then. And we watched Trump come down the escalator in 2015, in June, and he said, we should have never went to Iraq. There were no weapons of mass destruction. They knew there were no weapons of mass destruction. We don't have it. We spent all this money. And to think 10 years later, we're doing this? You look at Trump and it's like, I don't know you. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you are. You are demonic. You are a demonic force. And what's really freaky is now he's always talking about going to heaven. I'm not going to heaven. Yeah, I think you might be right about that because you are a demonic force. You are a liar. You are diabolical. You are a traitor.
You ever get the feeling that everything in America is completely fucked up? You know that feeling that the whole country is like 1 inch away from saying, that's it, forget it. Let's see,
Thanks, Mr. Miller. Now look, here's a house full of bees. You think the honey badger cares? It doesn't give a shit.
Listen, let's get one thing straight.
Price is right.
Guns don't kill people. I do.
I think some apologies are in order.
I feel so much more like there's like a calmness that I feel that we just have fucked off the whole. We gotta figure out the algorithm and copyright strikes. We're like, you know what? Like everyone's gonna be dead in like 5 years.
Exactly, dude. With World War III on the horizon, who really gives a shit? I stopped even arguing with YouTube about the copyright. Like, we're doing a documentary here. Like, fucking whatever. Just do what you gotta do.
Human Cannonball, Butthole Surfers. Which, first like band that I was in. We was a song we covered. That was the first song we learned to play together.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, we were a grindcore band. We were called Blowtorch Enema. And we also covered that song. And we'd sit there. I think the whole song is one riff pretty much, right? And we would just sit there and just play it. His mom, whose patience was just beyond the pale. She goes, oh, that's great. You guys are jamming. And just sit there and play that riff over and over.
Who's that band? What is it called? It's a hardcore band. Are they called Anal
Cunt?
Cunt?
Yeah.
Anal Cunt? Yeah. They have a new project.
They do.
Yeah. I want to say it's called Anal Trump. I might be. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay, so some of their song. See, this song is. If you thought 6 million Jews was a lot of people, you should see my inauguration. You should have seen my inauguration.
I brought my Bible.
I like it.
Yeah, I know. Some of the song names are just awesome.
Yeah, Anal Cunt. That dude, what's his name? Seth. I can't remember his last name. He was like notorious, like shit disturber. I think they're from Boston back in the day.
Yeah.
And just like all the most offensive. It was like grindcore if Gigi Allen had a grindcore band. It was like along those lines. Yeah, they had a bunch of side projects. And then, God dang it, like randomly I met someone and they were telling me that he's like, oh yeah, my sister just got engaged. I was like, right on. He goes, yeah, her fiance plays bass in Anal Cunt. I'm all, hey, I kind of want to be there when your parents meet. So, Mike, what do you do?
Yeah. I'm in a band. What's a band name? No way you've
never
heard
heard
it.
it.
No, try me out.
We'd love to come see you play.
I'm into White Snake. Come on, what do you got? What do you?
Carlos, we were just talking about eye injuries, and I had an eye injury this week, which I would rather break.
Not like iPhone.com or
No.
iMac.
Eyeinjury.com.
EYE injury.
Eyeinjury.com. We do.
Dude, Carlos, get on.
Is I would rather break my leg than have an eye injury. It's just because the pain just gets worse. You break your leg, like, okay, this will be over eventually. But eye just gets worse, worse, worse. And the worst one I ever had, I got a metal shaving like embedded in my eye. And I'm always like pretty meticulous about protecting my eyes, especially since that incident. Like, this was years ago. It gave me like PTSD because I had to go to I went to urgent care. They couldn't get it out. I went to the emergency room. They couldn't get it out. And then they sent me to this ophthalmologist like the next day. So I'm on day 2. They put you in the eye injury room where to put your head in a vice and full Clockwork Orange. Yeah. Black light everywhere.
Disturbing videos.
Yeah. And
pictures of the Holocaust. Kittens being run over.
I like it. And this doctor's just digging around. He goes, I don't see anything. I'm like, there's something in there. And I'm just going like, please keep looking. At the last second, he goes, It was like embedded way up. But it already scratched my cornea like multiple times.
Dang.
Yeah. But before the last stop, it was after the emergency room, I had just fully lost my shit. Like I snapped, and I, with my bare hands, demoed our bathroom vanity, ripped it off the wall, and just destroyed everything.
It's like the pain from the eye injury
I just couldn't
sent you into a rage.
Yeah,
you use that
Yeah.
to be productive. I like that.
Exactly.
Yes. Well done.
Despite not having plans to remodel the bathroom. And I get home, and they got that thing out of there, and all my shoulders, my entire face, everything just relaxed for the first time. I'm just like, it was like, I was in a like refractory period. I was like, oh my God, like that pain finally went away.
Wow.
And I got home, and my wife goes, they get it? I was like, they did. She goes, y'all better? I'm like, She goes, so you're going to start remodeling the bathroom? I was like, yep. I'm leaving here right now to go get materials. And she got a new bathroom out of it. So everyone won.
Totally. Dude, one time I got a gnat in my eye, and it wasn't like that painful, but it got like stuck in the corner of the eye, right? And then I'm trying to get it out, and it's like swimming in my eye juice, like like moving its little flippers, and it went up like in and like behind my eye, like in the very back, right? And it was like gone, and I just couldn't. You can't get back there.
Yeah.
So I let it be. I could still kind of feel it, but it wasn't like that painful.
Yeah.
It wasn't like they're smooth on the outside.
Yeah.
Right. Unless they go against the grain. If they're little hairs, then that hurts.
I'm tracking.
So, dude, like 2 hours later, it fucking came back out to the front, and I got it out, and it just flew away.
It was still alive?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Shut up. No way.
Okay, maybe not the last part.
Yeah.
But it did come back around. It did come back around, and I got it out.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
Carlos, any bad eye injuries?
I mean, just that one where I had lath and plaster sucked really bad. Going to the ER and urgent care and stuff like that. They are not in a hurry to see you unless you have high blood pressure. And if you have high blood pressure, they'll take you right back in. But no, it was freaking annoying.
So I got a clip for you here. Carlos, would you please? Thank you. Sure. This is Adam Carolla talking about the war in Iran. And I found this interesting because I know you want to talk about media today. And there were a couple of just things in this short clip where he and I don't know who his co-host. She's not a co-host. What do you call that person? Producer? Helper?
Yeah. Sidekick.
Carlos?
Something. He switches them out all the time. Something
Yeah.
Strauss.
The only one I remember is Gina Grad.
Gina
Used to
Grad.
do the
Before
news.
that was Allison Rosen.
Okay.
There's Gina Grad, and then he's been switching them out because I listen to a fair amount of Adam Carolla. She has a couple different. He like rotates people out, but she's been pretty on it lately. Like,
Yeah.
she says some pretty entertaining stuff. And,
Yeah, she's entertaining.
a lot of these people are like kind of comedians in the making, and so they're working on their reps and their kind of improv skills and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
some people are really good at it, and you can tell like, oh, they got a knack for this. Some people are not so much.
That's why we hired Carlos. Help get him on. Get the
Says
circuit.
nothing and then just drops a level 10 joke.
Hilarious jokes.
like once an episode.
He's a sky in that way. All right, so check this out. I said, check this out.
Yes, here's the thing. I don't like the wars. I don't trust the wars per se, and I get everybody's a detractor for saying that. On the other hand, these are homicidal, genocidal pieces of shit, and they need to die. And unfortunately, it'd be nice for some diplomacy. It'd be nice if they would agree. They won't agree to anything. There is no diplomacy. It's part of their culture, so we have to kill you.
Well, and we've tried diplomacy, and we've tried literally buying them off
Right.
for as long as I've been alive.
Yes.
And it hasn't worked.
Right. And
Like-
I'm kind of at the place with, drug cartels and
Narco-terrorists now. That's what we get to call
narco-terrorists
them.
and Middle Eastern folks that fund all these terrorist groups. And we just have to kill you.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to die. And that's where we're at.
All right.
I'm not surprised that he said that.
Yeah, I'm not either. But what I found because Adam Carolla and this chick are regurgitating the news.
Yeah.
Essentially, they have the intellectual vigor of just like a surface level kind of NPC, maybe a little bit more nuanced take than
Guy you'd run into at like a construction site.
who's very intelligent
Yes.
and witty and quick on his feet.
But as far as this narrative, he's just taking the narrative, like the propaganda that's being put out there by mainstream media.
It was just so interesting. Like everything he says there, like that you just can't negotiate with these people, so they have to die.
Yeah.
It's like, well, we were negotiating with these people. We had a very good
We
deal.
were in the
place.
middle of negotiations.
In fact, Obama had a deal with them where they would only refine uranium to the 3% level needed for domestic energy policy, and we threw that up. Threw that out the window. So it is not the case that we can't negotiate with these people.
Yeah, 2018 is that I always forget JPCOA, JCPOA.
JCPOA.
Yeah, they ripped that up in 2018,
And what happens when we kill bad guys? Like, has there ever been a case of the country then turning into some better place?
we're going to talk about that today.
It has never happened in the history of regime changing.
Not to mention blowback or unintended consequences, as the CIA calls it, the creation of an entirely new, that we end up arming 10 years after that, some kind of terrorist militia against America. And I also had a very predictable conversation with a friend of ours. He goes, you got to admit, though, seeing all those Iranians, chanting in the streets and, celebrating and dancing, there's something to be said for that. I was like, yeah, no, I saw that. I was like, there's about a tenth of the size of the mob in Iran chanting death to America. So I don't know if you want to play a numbers game.
And I also seem to remember when we overthrew Saddam Hussein, a bunch of people in the streets celebrating, pulling down the statue of Saddam. This is day one.
Yeah.
Like, let's keep bombing the ever-living shit out of these people and see if they still are happy.
Are we talking about Turkey now? Are we moving on to Turkey?
And then just like her little thing that she jumped in there and she was so proud of, she goes, we get to call them narco-terrorists now. It's like, yeah, who the fuck do you think came up with that term? Right? Yes, you get to call them narco-terrorists so that now it's okay to blow up the drug boats.
Yeah.
Like, do you remember the war on drugs?
Yeah.
Does that ring a bell? Guess what? In case you don't remember, the drugs won. Okay,
Yeah.
we lost the war on drugs.
We
did nothing to make our society healthier. It made everything worse. It made all of those drug-producing countries wealthy. It was the utter failure. Blowing up the drug boats. Yeah, it sounds fun and great, and killing narco terrorists. Yes, they're bad guys. But when you cut the head off of one of those cartels, they don't just disappear. They're not gone forever.
Counterpoint. We did get some sweet hip hop out of that era. Not that those two things are related.
Oh no, absolutely not. Did you ever hear that story about the train car, the box car that was rolled into South Central LA?
No.
Full of weapons.
Really?
Stocked full of weapons. There's a documentary on YouTube about it. And they just left it there unlocked.
Yeah.
And didn't take long before all those weapons were into the streets of LA.
Holds up. Holds up.
Probably just a mistake.
Yeah.
Where did we leave that boxcar full of weapons? Shit, we left it. And you locked it, right?
Man,
we left it in South Central. You did lock it, though, did you? You hit the fob. Boss, you're gonna laugh. No, I left it unlocked.
I left it unlocked, and in just some fast and furious way, they emptied out that boxcar. God, I'm just red faced about this.
Yes.
I was also, because I've been a geek for this stuff, listening to the guy from Drop Site News, which is something I highly recommend. This guy goes deep, deep, deep into foreign policy, particularly when it comes to U.S. foreign military intervention. And he's saying, like, the Iran, because we're sharing, like, well, dude, Iran is bigger than what Libya, Iraq, and Saudi Arabia, all, like, it's a huge, this is something different. Also, geopolitically, they've been putting themselves in preparation for this in a position because they knew this day was coming, because we've been saying it's coming since then, that they have built their power structure because we just took out all the top dogs in Iran because it doesn't matter. They're working on a, what do you call it? Like a unilateral, like sideways power structure.
Network marketing,
like an
Amway of
an MLM, if you will. Which brings us to our first sponsor,
Ramway.
Yeah, and he goes, you can keep taking these people out, but they've built this like leveled out
horizontal,
horizontal power structure that all the people are just going to step back in. And then there's the argument also that like we do this all the time. We do it in Libya and Iraq and everything, and we'll get to this later. But it's like, what has this ever worked out to the benefit of anyone, including the people that live there or the U.S.? It's like every time it's a complete negative. We have a track record, and I want to talk about the track record later because I know you want to talk about the war stuff.
Yeah, can I play a little clip?
Is it copyrighted
for you? I only play copyrighted clips.
Good.
No. This is Robert Pape talking about the success, all of our successful regime changes over time.
I have studied every air campaign since World War I. This is my specialty. I spent 3 years teaching conventional targeting strategy for the U.S. Air Force. I've studied leadership decapitation in detail. I've modeled the bombing of Fordow, the regime change in Iran for 20 years. So this is something I know quite a bit about. And literally 10 days ago, I started on Substack, The Escalation Trap, because I worried exactly watching the Armada being built, we would fall into the escalation trap, and that's what's happened. We are now in the grip of the escalation trap, or the smart bomb trap, to be more precise, where the illusion of the 100% tactical success, which is real, it's the success of the bombs blowing up the targets is not false. It creates the illusion of control of escalation. And that is the smart bomb trap, and that is what has gripped us right now. And the problem is that once we drop those bombs and once we announce regime change is our goal, and we had no other tools, trying to do this from the air, this has never worked in over 100 years. This is not like it works sometimes or rarely works. I'm choosing my words carefully. President Trump is up against the weight of history here. And
I know this is not what we're talking about by you playing that clip, but just personal kind of perspective. If you're going gray, guys, just let your hair go gray. It's totally.
Did he dye his hair?
Yeah, did you see that guy's hair?
No, it wasn't.
It's just like I've never seen that guy before. You're going like that is it messes with the your Fibonacci sequence in your mind. You're like something is not right. I'm like, oh, it's like seeing the women with the pufferfish lips. You know, you're like,
does that add to his argument or detract from it? I almost think it adds something, right? Because this guy clearly is not focused on like appropriate appearance, physical appearance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not really paying close enough attention to know what you're saying right here.
Not like Giuliani where the hair dye was like actually dripping down his face. You're like, you could be telling me the sky's blue right now. Like, I cannot concentrate on what you're saying.
Yeah, that's like a Tim Burton level, like awful look. So yeah, this has never worked in history, and yet somehow this time it's going to work. It's actually, I guess I might as well go into this. It is not, a lot of people are predicting that this is not going to go the way that Trump thinks it's going to go, that we are already looking at a unmitigated disaster. Trump's handpicked advisor, Dan Raisin Kane, was in the news recently. He tried to warn Trump that he should not do this, that this is not going to work. We don't have the resources to pull this off. And Trump didn't listen.
Yeah.
Colonel McGregor, Douglas McGregor, has been on every podcast saying how we can't do this. This isn't going to work. We're going to lose this war. John Mearsheimer, Larry Johnson, Jeffrey Sachs, Ray McGovern, all these people have been claiming that this war is unwinnable. And it's funny because when you turn on any media outlet, you do not hear that.
Yes.
CNN, Fox
News, MSNBC,
no.
CNBC. Yeah.
It's all about how Trump came out this morning. This is Saturday that we're recording this. Trump came out this morning and says, we're going to hit Iran hard. That's the story. But it appears we don't actually have enough missiles to do this.
Yeah, we gave them all to Ukraine.
Exactly. Here's this dude. What was the guy's name? Brandon Weichert, talking to Tucker about this topic.
Me. And thank you for those kind words. That was I'm very honored.
Well, it's true. We've never met, but I've just been watching your stuff recently, and wars tend to bring out phonies, and people are like, "Oh, I was on SEAL Team 27, and I know what's going," and they don't know anything. But your analysis has been.
I'm just a nerd.
Yeah, well, I have been very impressed by your grasp of what's happening. So, can you just give us really quickly the overview of where we are today? What are the big developments?
Well, the big developments, as you saw with Secretary of War, I guess he's calling himself now, Hegseth, is they're transitioning the munitions. So now the claim is that it's been so successful, this air war, they don't need to use what's known as standoff weapons. So think the Tomahawk cruise missile. And they're going to now shift, the Air Force and the Israeli Air Force are going to shift now to flying large sorties of warplanes into Iran and bombing targets with what are known as gravity bombs. And these are things like the Joint Directed Attack Munitions, JDAMs. They require you to be close to the target. So the risk factor to our pilots is now increasing exponentially. But I would just like to posit a theory, and it's just a theory. I actually think the real reason we are doing this shift is not because of realities or facts on the ground that are amenable to the U.S. and Israeli strategic position. I think we are being dictated to by the depletion of our stockpiles.
Yes.
And what I mean by that, I have some numbers for your audience. We all know the Tomahawk cruise missile going back to the Clinton era, where he would just pop those things off, as soon as the Lewinsky impeachment got underway. 4,000 Tomahawk land attack cruise missiles are believed to be in the arsenal. We have been draining those since 2022, 2023 in Ukraine at a disproportionate rate. In the last 4 days of this conflict, we have expended 400 of those systems, which means that's 100 per day with the operational and tempo not ceasing. In 2026, the budget request was only for 59 new missiles. We need several hundreds every year. The reason we're getting such low numbers, Tucker, is because our defense industrial base is broken and we have no business starting a world war or a major regional war as we are in the process of doing. So I believe the real reason the U.S. and Israeli militaries are starting to get more daring and dangerous with their airstrikes is because they cannot afford to blow through the munitions that are already depleting.
Crazy, huh?
Yeah. It's wild.
Have you seen this one? Sorry, I told you I had a lot of clips today. This is a really good little thing on Instagram this guy did.
Video of Iran firing one missile towards Israel at a cost of $250,000, and America firing 11 Patriot missiles to help Israel intercept it, costing us $44 million. Now, according to reports, Iran has launched over 100 to 150 missiles towards Israel just in the last 2 days alone, which, according to my math, $44 million times 150, that's like $7 billion already spent defending Israel. Meanwhile, this is what the streets of America look like.
Thank you.
Right now.
I love when people make that point.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Totally.
And also I was listening to a podcast with a military strategist. He goes, look, I'm not going to give you my opinion on this war, but here's some kind of basic facts. Like, saying this is actually a different guy than the guy I was referencing earlier, was saying Iran has been gearing up for this for decades. Like, they knew it was just a matter of time. And they have a strategy. They have a power hierarchy, like, ready to go. And he's saying, this guy broke down the math or whatever. He goes, he's waiting for the U.S. and Israel to basically blow their wad money-wise, just as a simple numbers game. And they're going like, yeah, we're going to take a certain amount of damage, but they're going to be, it's like Nate Diaz going in a fight. He warms up for the first 2 or 3 rounds. You're like, dude, he's getting the shit kicked out of him. In the 4th round, he just like turns it on, and the guy just like has nothing to give him.
Right.
That's basically what's going on
That's
right now.
the Iran strategy.
Yeah.
The Nate Diaz strategy.
Yes. I can't get past the fact that in the last 30 years, like, we have this kind of track record established for how these wars go, and we've beat it to death. But here we are again, and it just I experienced like almost like a Groundhog Day. I'm like, I know. We're like doing this again, because if you look at the track record in hindsight, that we look at the other wars, just take this one out of it, like they're all primarily driven by banks, the military-industrial complex, and politicians, and a certain country in the Middle East that pays for these politicians to get us into the war. And then we all know that, because I want to talk about media later, is then we all see this pattern of all media, left and right, basically becoming an advertising wing for this war, right? And everyone buys it
every time.
Yes, and
just pounding the drums like we're going to war, we're going to kick some ass.
And anyone that speaks out against it is immediately demonized and discredited and
censored, basically
censored, deplatformed. And then we have a track record that of every single one of these wars, that when you parse out the countries, we're somewhere between 500,000 and over 1 million plus dead innocent civilians, right? And then we have a track record of, as we mentioned earlier, of all like unbridled. It's the greatest promotion for starting a terrorist militia, right? Of people that want some retribution. Which, if someone did that to our country, I can completely fucking sympathize with.
Yeah,
I would be doing the same thing.
And then what do? We put those countries on the special protected status and allow them to come into our country, no questions asked.
Yeah, who hate us, by the way, because we killed their parents and all their neighbors and destroyed their school. And then we also have a track record that every time we remove an evil dictator, it's replaced with something worse.
Right.
If a country comes to mind where that didn't happen, I'm all ears. We have Libya, which is running open-air slave markets and is being run by terrorist militias. We have Iraq that's been in a civil war since we've been there. I mean, everyone's worse off.
Somalia, failed state.
Yeah, and us spending fucking $1 trillion here, $1 trillion there, creating millions of people that hate us that we bring into our country because now there's a civil war and an even worse evil dictator. You know what I mean? That we armed fucking 20 years before that. You know what I mean? And now we'll probably go back there in another 10 years of like, this place is a mess. Like, what's wrong with these people? These like savages. Like, we gotta, obviously the answer is to fucking bomb them.
Right.
And replace it with democracy.
Yeah. Well, like Adam Carolla said, these guys are evil assholes and they have to die.
Yeah. And we have this track
What's next? Who cares?
Yes. And we have these track records of this happening over and over and over again. And here we are, once again, we're being told, this one's different. We got it right this time. This one's different. Iran is more powerful than all those other countries before that we did this. And they were a real pickle. I tell you, it was a quagmire. It was a pickle. No, a pickle is when you lock your keys in the car, not when you fucking kill 1 million innocent civilians. Like, that's a pickle.
And look at the countries around them. Like Iran is attacking Saudi Arabia and Bahrain and all these countries where the U.S. has military bases.
Mm-hmm.
And those countries are like, is this like, why were we supporting the United States?
Yeah.
Why were we allowing them to have, wasn't it so they would defend us?
Yeah.
Do you know that the United States, now, I don't know if this is true, but
It's true.
This is what this is what I heard. I can't remember where I heard it, but we defended Israel immediately when Iran started shooting missiles into Israel, right? Shot down a bunch of their missiles.
Yes.
Like that clip that I just played of the 11 Patriot missiles trying to take down that one.
And even if we didn't,
they missed.
We paid for their missiles. So it's same thing.
Right.
But we did.
And we probably launched them.
Yeah.
But they all missed that missile. That thing, we shot 11 and it got through and it still did damage. But we did not do the same thing to defend our own air base that got attacked where those Marines were killed. So we actually spent more energy and money and weapons defending Israel than our own troops in those bases around Iran.
Yes. Yes, we did.
It's almost like a metaphor for the whole goddamn thing.
When you sent me that clip of that Marine,
that got his arm broken.
Yeah, who's it? Tim Sheehy, whatever.
Okay.
Congressman from North Carolina.
Yeah, North Carolina.
North Carolina. Yeah, and he just stood up in his uniform saying like, Marines don't want to die for Israel. We're done with this. And they fucking security grabs him. The congressman grabs him, drags him out, breaks his fucking arm literally in half.
Yep.
A guy who served our country.
Yep.
Broke his arm in half. And I was like, it's just the perfect metaphor. It's so good.
What's even
He's
more
speaking out against Israel.
Yeah. What was even more perfect about it is that the cops who were getting him out of there were doing a pretty good job of getting him out of there.
Mm-hmm.
They were, not as good as you and I could have done or anyone with like 2 weeks of jiu-jitsu training, but they were still like getting him out of there in a professional manner.
Yeah.
And then when he grabbed that door, that's when that other senator got up and just like bull rushed him to pull him out. And that's who fucking broke his arm.
Yeah.
That senator.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great metaphor too.
Yes.
Right? Like the professionals are doing it, but no. Let's get in there with these. I know nothing about anything, but I'm a senator. Jumps up, rushes the guy, fucking snaps his arm. Like that is our political system in a fucking nutshell.
Yes.
Here's a clip. Got another clip from this professor who predicted before the war started that the war would start. And this was actually before Trump got elected. And he's talking about actually how bad this could be for the Middle East and for the United States.
Oh, I've seen this. This guy is amazing.
Yeah.
He got 3 main predictions, and this was his last one.
Yeah.
And the first 2 already came true. He predicted that Trump was going to get elected way before. And then I can't remember his second prediction. I was like,
that he was going to start a war with Iran.
That was the third one.
No, that was the second.
The second one.
The third one was that we would lose.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Or we can just let him say it.
In this class this semester, I'm making 3 big predictions, right? First is that Trump will win in November. Second is that the United States will go to war against Iran. And the third big prediction is that the United States will lose this war, which will forever change the global order.
So obviously that last one is the only one that has not yet come to fruition is quite a stunning prediction. You know, do you stand by it, and what have you seen so far that leads you to sort of stand firm in that conclusion?
So given my analysis of how the war is progressing, I think that Iran has many more advantages over the United States. The reality is that right now, it's a war of attrition between the United States and Iran. And the Iranians have been preparing 20 years for this conflict. In their eschatology, in their religion, this is a war against the great Satan. They've had many practice runs. Last June was a 12-day war when the Iranians were able to examine and analyze the strike capacities of both the Israelis and the Americans. And they've had a lot of time, 8 months, to prepare fully for this new attack. They, through their proxies, the Houthis, Hezbollah, Hamas, and the Shia militias, have been able to really grasp the American mentality, and now they have a pretty good strategy of how to weaken and ultimately destroy the American empire. So what the Iranians are doing is they're waging war against the entire global economy. And so they are striking the GCC countries. And not only are they striking GCC countries, American bases, they're going after the critical energy infrastructure of these bases. They blocked off the Strait of Hormuz. And eventually, they will go after the water desalination plants, which is the lifeblood of these nations because they don't have fresh water supply. In fact, the water desalination plants provides 60% of the GCC's water supply. So if a drone, and these drones cost $50,000, if they wiped out a desalination plant in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, and it's a city of 10 million people, right? They'd be out of water in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I heard that. That's when you go deeper into the externalities of these wars. That's why I love listen. When I heard this from this guy, I was like, that is, it's like there's stuff there's these unintended consequences that you don't even think about. It's not just 2 dudes fist fighting and one's gonna win. It's like it's got its fingers into every kind of asset of the society. Because he brought up this stuff. Like right after that, they were talking about, okay, so now we don't even have the munitions to fight this war. Like we're running out. We gave everything to Ukraine. You know what I mean? And now here we are starting a war. We don't even have the hardware to keep up with the demand that this war is going to require. And Iran's just going back, let them shoot our missiles out of the sky. Like we're fucking armed to the teeth. We don't send our weapons to other countries and fight other wars. Right. Like not like the U.S. and Israel do. And it's like, this guy brought up the point. He's like, so what's to prevent, why would China not take Taiwan at this point? I'm like, okay, it's interesting. How's that related? He's like, well, all of our microprocessors for all this AI that we need are all made in Taiwan. If China takes Taiwan over, and this AI is like very, very to an increasing extent being integrated into these wars. And if we don't have the microprocessors, we lose the AI race to China. It's like.
He also brought up the point that the oil-rich countries in the Middle East, they sell oil, they get U.S. dollars. Yep. And then what do they do with that money? They invest it into the United States, into what he called the AI bubble. He's like, that's the only thing propping up the U.S. economy right now is all this
it's
building of data centers.
8 companies buying each other's stocks right now. And so we have this artificially inflated stock market. Like, dude, the market's white hot. It's like, only for these companies right here. Everything else is a pile of shit.
They're all going to pull that money out because their oil can no longer make it out of through the Strait of Hormuz.
Qatar's already saying that. Like, we might just pull all our money out of this. Like, would be a huge blow to the U.S. economy.
Meanwhile, Trump is saying that the only way this war ends is through unconditional surrender.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I honestly think he just thinks that sounds cool.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
That's the
yeah,
only reason, because he doesn't know anything.
Yeah.
Right? He's really just kind of an ignoramus.
Yeah.
Unconditional surrender is the only, even though they did try to do what they did in the 12-day war, where they bombed the shit out of them, and they said, okay, we'll negotiate. And
which, by the way,
at that point, Iran was like, okay, fine.
Unconditional surrender by whom? It's like,
right.
Didn't we just take everyone out? It's like, do you need some arbitrary guy to step up? Like, I'm in charge now, and we surrender.
Right.
Like, who's going to buy that?
Right.
Yeah.
And what would that mean to Iran? Unconditional surrender? That means they give up all of their weapons, all of their ability to fight, totally just let the United States walk right in? Like, that's never going to happen. And they're not going to lose this war, is what it looks like. Yeah. And Trump's just going, nope, we can't end it until we get unconditional surrender.
What is unconditional surrender? Who would agree to those terms? Like, all right, unconditional surrender. Like, okay, no more fighting? Yeah. I don't know. Your new national sport's rollerblading. Right. Fuck. Why do we agree to this?
You said unconditional.
You said unconditional.
No, that's the one condition. No. You love rollerblading now.
You guys are just fucking with us at this point.
Your bar fight analogy was good, and I was thinking about that in terms of what Marco Rubio said the other day, that the reason we got into this war was because Israel was going to attack Iran, and we knew that there would be blowback from that, so we had to get into it also.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make any sense, first of all, but if it did make sense, if it made sense that somehow the United States couldn't just get on the phone and say, hey, we're not supporting you attacking Iran. If you do that, you're on your own. And by the way, this is a 3-way call with the Ayatollah. If they do this, they're on their own. You have at them. Do whatever you want. We easily could have done that. They're a tiny little country. There's no reason we had to jump into this war. Yeah. But let's just say that wasn't the case and we did have to jump in, or they would have attacked us anyways, even if we had made that phone call. It's like you are getting into a fight in a bar that you know you cannot win.
Yes.
That you're going to be outnumbered. They're all much bigger and meaner than you, but just your friend is going to go throw a punch. So, well, I guess you got to go too, right? That is not a good friend.
This sort of story time. This reminds me of a very close friend that I used to have, and I lived in San Francisco, and he'd come to the city, and we'd go out and get in a fight every single time. And finally, like on our 4th fight, it was the last street fight I've ever been in. It was the worst, most violent fucking fight I've ever been in. And I just told him, I was like, dude, look. Like, he goes, well, that guy was like fucking with me and this and that. I was like, I'm in my 20s. I go out like 5 nights a week. You know how many fights I get in? None. Every time you come to town, like, we get into a fight. Like, he was my Israel. I was like, this is a problem, dude.
Exactly.
Like, I was like, I can't hang out with you anymore. I don't want to go through life like this. Like, someone's going to die eventually.
That's exactly the conversation we need to have with Israel. And we cannot hang out anymore. I'm sorry. How ironic would it be if the Make America Great Again candidate, the guy who got all of the hillbillies and rednecks who never vote, all the patriots who were just disillusioned with the system to finally come out and vote, and they supported him. They gave him money. They put their support behind him. Like this guy, the guy that seemed like he was going to drain the swamp and just upend the system and really just kind of change things. If he's the guy who actually totally devastates America.
Yeah.
Puts America over the edge. Like, that's the guy who actually collapses the economy, ruins America, gets us into some war that we have no business being in, where maybe tens of thousands of Americans die. Maybe the blowback, the terrorist attack blowback that we get is extreme, worse than 9/11. Like, this guy, the guy that was supposed to end all wars.
Yeah.
No new wars. all drain the swamp, get rid of the
Stop
deep
printing
state.
money, fucking, perfect economy, everything. And everything has been a complete 180. That's why I love every once in a while you have a friend that puts something, it's like, I have this abstract in my head of all these things, and within like 5 words, they'll say it. And then you told me that Eli said, like, this is the world's biggest Trojan horse of all time. I'm like, perfect.
Yeah.
Like, that's exactly what we're looking at right now.
The guy that we thought was going to save America is actually the one that fucking ruins it. Here, check out this from Nick Fuentes.
Something has gone horribly wrong. All of those people, with some exceptions, were never Trumpers in 2016. Shapiro didn't vote for Trump in 16. Mark Levin was critical of Trump in 2016. Where were these people when the movement was actually born, when those pillars were in place? Now all of those people are in the center. The movement is something else now. And what we need in 2028, this is our last chance, we need in 2026 for this administration to be shut the fuck down. What does this administration do other than cover up the Epstein files, embezzle money through government contracts, and bring us to war for Israel? This administration needs to be shut down immediately. Do not vote in the midterms, and if you do, vote for Democrats. Fuck this. That is what the Republicans deliver. That is what our golden age looks like. The tariffs were refunded. The deportations were stopped. They wound down and withdrew the ICE from Minneapolis. What does this administration do other than embezzle money, go to war with Iran, and bury the Epstein files? Oh, and blackmail Harvard so they police anti-Semitism and ban people who criticize Israel from being in America. This administration needs to be shut down immediately. It has forfeited its mandate. They promise no new wars. They promise mass deportations in America first, and we're not getting any of it. So shut it down. In 2026, shut it down. And our only hope is that in 2028, in the Republican primary, somebody will emerge who will actually put America first.
Well said.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
No.
But that's just kind of a good example of like the people who were optimistic about Trump. Like, that's gone. It's us, for example. Like, he has completely wasted his entire goodwill that he had from anybody. It's just horrible.
This is the exact opposite of what we voted for.
Correct.
Yep. Everything.
There is something Trump can do, though, at this point. He could save his presidency. He could save America still. He just needs to come clean. He knows he's in the Epstein files.
Mm-hmm.
There is some sort of blackmail that they have over. I don't know if you've seen pictures of him lately, but he looks like he looks really, really old and really tired.
Yeah. Well, there's always that perspective of people, looking at Joe Biden. These people just, once they become president, they just age at this accelerated rate. And they go, like, you look at...
it didn't happen to Trump in the first term, though.
Yeah. Because we didn't have any of this fucking bullshit in the first term.
We didn't have the Epstein files.
Look at Joe Biden. The dude he was actually fucking dead. Running as president. Like, that's how much he aged. You look at a guy like Ron Paul.
No.
What is he, 90?
He's in his 90s.
He's in his 90s. And super quick-witted, smart, intelligent, looks healthy. I was like, because he doesn't fucking lie us into wars that result in millions of dead innocent civilians.
Trump,
that shit ages you.
Trump needs to come out today and say, all right, coming clean.
Yeah.
I am in the Epstein files. I did do this awful thing with a 12-year-old girl, whatever it is. Like, I know I'm going to hell for that, and there's nothing I can do about that, but it is time to end the rest of this shit with Israel. We are pulling out. Mission accomplished. We're pulling out of Iran. We are ending the war. Israel is on their own from here on out. And I have to do the minimum that I can do at this point is just come clean and just end the Israel umbilical cord, end the connection with Israel, and let the chips fall where they may. And guess what? All the other Epstein files, we are releasing those too. Yep. If he came clean and just did that, he would actually go down as a good president.
May God have mercy on my soul. Do your worst, God.
You're going to hell anyways. Like, just pull out. Stop this war right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that would... God, that'd be such sweet relief, but that's not going to happen. And you just always...
I know.
You always have to wonder, you're like, dude, what do these people, Israel, have on these? Like, they must have, like, some... Because the stuff that we've seen in, like, the Epstein files is some of the darkest shit you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the stuff that wasn't redacted. Mm-hmm. So it just makes you like,
or shredded, or burned, or never released, kept somewhere else.
Yeah,
like Epstein was doing that shit for a reason. We all know that at this point. He was doing it to be able to manipulate powerful people. Trump is obviously being manipulated.
Not according to our favorite AM radio talk show host. By the way,
it's not.
By the way, Ben Shapiro, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Not a lot to say in the Epstein files these days. What happened there, bud?
Everything is a distraction from the Epstein files. I think that's true. But this is actually a result of the Epstein files because Trump knows better than to do this. That's why he's aging so much. He knows this was stupid, but Israel made him do it.
I would.
His handpicked advisor, that Kane guy, Raisin Kane, he told him, don't do this. The one guy that Trump had in his Joint Chiefs of Staff that was there to give him the truth, told him not to do this, and he does it anyways. He knows that our munitions are exhausted. He knows this is going to cost American lives, but he did it anyway because they have shit on him. They are making him do this.
Yeah, the only thing I'd quibble with is that people are always like wildly pontificating upon the fact that like, well, the Epstein file, like this is a cover up for the Epstein files. It's meant to distract you from the Epstein files. I'm like, kinda. I was like, it's more a matter of that everything, and this is like, I'm having these conversations with people. I'm trying to explain this, and they think I sound like a crazy person. I'm like, okay, but remember you said I sound like a crazy person for saying that there were Epstein files a couple of years ago, and here we are. So maybe hear me out. I was like, it's not so much a distraction from the Epstein files. It's the fact that everything is connected to the Epstein files.
Yeah.
We're all the way back to fucking Iran-Contra even. Like, which I don't know how old Jeffrey Epstein was in that, how old he was during that time. I was like, it's like everything, all these wars, all this shit, all the assassinations, all are connected to the Epstein files. Like it's like the nucleus for like everything that's gone wrong in the world.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. You're exactly right. Can we take a little break?
Yes. So we're having a birthday party tomorrow for my son. He's turning 13. And it's kind of funny because I think I'm viewing this through my own mind. I feel guilty inviting people because I know if I get that invite from someone, like, hey, it's my kid's birthday, I'm like, all right, guess I'll go home and Rochambeau with my wife to see who's on the hook for this.
Yep.
We're throwing away a quarter of my weekend.
Totally.
And they asked, I was talking to someone, and they go like, did you get your son a present for his birthday? And I'm like, well, yeah, I've committed to my social anxiety being at a fucking 10 because I'm going to have a house full of people that I don't know because all their parents. I'm just going, the worst case scenario in my mind. I'm like, oh my God, you're going to be like stuck at the grill and this guy's telling me about this Netflix show that I'm never going to watch. And the whole time I'm thinking about like Epstein, Adnan Khashoggi. He was the arms dealer in Iran and Contra. It connects. I'm just kind of like looking through this guy. Like,
you remember what happened last
talk
year?
about something else. No,
the party last year. We got just shithouse drunk, and we were standing at the bar at your outdoor kitchen.
Oh yeah,
and we were just having the podcast basically at like a elevated volume, and your wife had to come over and tell us to shut up.
Yes, I do remember that.
Like people are staring.
I do remember that. Fuck, I blocked that out.
So I'm looking forward to it tomorrow.
Go. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I sent you that clip, which is an oldie but goodie.
Yes.
But I want to set the table for. I imagine there's some people out there that have never seen this. If you don't mind.
Oh, you're not setting the table for the clip?
No.
Gotcha. Just play the clip. Mm-hmm. You were saying. I can do that.
Tell me what to do.
Are we recording it?
Hi, I'm Fox San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our
greatest
responsibility
is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities,
the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But we are concerned about trouble and trend of irresponsible, one-sided news stories plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
False
news
has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 One of my favorite things is when you and I both simultaneously find something that's not funny just so hilarious. There's this, I can't put it into words, so it's fucking hilarious.
God, it's so dark.
Do you get freaked out when they put all the people syncing up and saying the same thing? Like it's like,
yeah, I do. Which is why I played that clip.
It's not good.
Have you seen that clip before?
No, it's an eerie ass feeling. I mean, the one for COVID I've seen that they did very similar, but not this one.
There's multiple.
You could do it
of
for almost every single day during the news cycle. There is something that went out in the morning, like say exactly this, don't deviate. And I love when they're saying this is extremely dangerous for our democracy. Like everyone's kind of trying to make it fit their vibe, you know? Just then you see it one after another and you guys are fucking slaves.
Yeah. Yeah. And what's even more disturbing is the people in that montage that work for Las Cruces, New Mexico, some suburb of Lansing, Michigan.
Yeah.
Go all the way down to these local low budget affiliate, these talking points, these narratives, these memos get emailed to everyone. Like this isn't just the 5 fucking major mainstream media networks. Like everyone got that. Like this is what you're saying today. Now we just intuitively know that all mainstream media is fucking garbage.
Yep.
And this is why, like, we've experienced, like, we have this fatigue when we talk about something over the weekend or on the podcast. And then you run into your friend who's, like, maybe not so deeply embedded in these stuff and in the whatever current issue that's going on. And I think I want to bring this up because you and I were talking this morning. I said, like, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to talk about this. I'm like, it's all the same thing. It's all related.
Yep.
They all have something to do with each other. Just like the Epstein files.
Yep.
And I want to play my personal favorite because stuff comes out in the news and they play it and you go like, okay, now it's like official. Like this is the thing. I always love this one.
Let me be clear. If you're in a state where hurricanes often strike, like Florida or the Gulf Coast or into Texas, a vital part of preparing for hurricane season is to get vaccinated now.
I love stuff like that. It's like, okay, you've officially gotten over your skis. You're like, you don't have like a handler, like a subtlety handler. It goes like, okay, don't get overboard with the shit. Like the message is like, everyone needs to take this experimental vaccine. I was like, but don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Another one was when
have some gravitas about the whole thing.
When RFK Jr. came out right when he got into office, and he was like, the biggest threat to our health as Americans is anti-Semitism. Come on, dude. Like, really, you're just coming right out and saying it? The old sledgehammer approach?
We're going to bomb Iran.
Right.
And then Turkey.
It's for the health of American people.
Yeah. And so I started to go back in my mind, like cataloging these kind of what I perceive to be like forced, like us being force fed with a certain narratives. And then I started like kind of listing them out and then researching them. Then you guys remember the Republicans are weird?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so here's the point I'm like bringing this stuff up. It's not that so-and-so is saying it. It's that all at the same time, when everyone, both right and left, in this case, it's left, everyone on the left is saying the exact same thing on the exact same day. You're going like, just like the Epstein files, once again, like, what are the chances of that? Mm-hmm. You know, of Epstein killing himself. We're like, okay, here's 20 things, like, and all those things like kind of aligned. You know what I mean? So I was looking up the Republicans are weird narrative. They actually had a press release about this,
right?
And so the Republicans are weird label is a 2024 Democratic messaging strategy popularized by figures like Tim Walz and America's favorite wine mon. That's my words, not theirs. Which was funny because then I started thinking about like, oh, this is when they tried to roll out Tim Walz, is the left rolled up their sleeves like, we're going to penetrate the manosphere. They brought out Tim Walz. And I was like cleaning the house this morning. I was like, God, that was such a short-lived, I wish it went on longer, but it was such a short-lived, that was their official like, strike one. Like you guys did not pull that off. And Tim Walz would get on there and remember he even changed his voice a little bit, kind of talking like a husky voice.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, like I know like a lot of you young men are out there changing your spark plugs on your 74 Chevy, you know, and I'm going duck hunting. You're like, oh my God, dude, this is like so fucking painful to watch. And, you know, if that didn't resonate with you guys, you know,
that was like...
Then we have Gavin Newsom's podcast where they use naughty words, you know what I mean?
I was going to say, that was around the same time that the Democrats all started cursing in public.
Yes.
Like they thought that was going to win people over somehow. Hold on a second. Did he just drop an F-bomb? Well, God darn it. I am going to vote for that guy.
I didn't know he was uneducated like Gavin Newsom when he talks to black people. Like, I'm totally on board. And... So to go back to their press release, like this is an attempt to frame GOP policies and rhetoric as creepy, out of touch, and extreme rather than just dangerous. It highlights specific behaviors such as targeting personal freedoms, LGBTQ plus rights, and reproductive rights. You like to duck hunt, right?
I do.
It is fun. For you. And me, it is.
Yes. Okay. Are you okay? Carlos, call 911.
Nah, it just made me think that
What's the number?
The best thing about hunting, duck hunting, is posting up early morning in that duck blind, sun coming up, waiting for the ducks to come in.
Drinking a beer.
Hanging out with your buddy and talking about reproductive rights in the duck blind.
Yeah.
Well done, left. Right to. Remember that duck hunting video? That lady, they were hunting on public land and she tried to stop them.
Oh, yeah.
She started calling them fuck-offs.
Yeah.
And then she tried to scare off the ducks by throwing rocks at their decoys.
The decoys. They're decoys, you fucking idiot.
Retard.
Remember when Dick Cheney shot his friend
In the
when they were
face?
duck hunting?
Yeah, that was a conspiracy theory. I mean, it wasn't. Origins. The phrase gained traction after Tim Walz and later Kamala Harris applied it to Donald Trump and J.D. Vance, aiming to frame their actions as bizarre rather than threatening, targeted behaviors. Democrats used the term to describe various Republican actions, including but not limited to remarks on family life, reproductive rights. Okay, same thing, like over and over. This was the coordinated press release, but the reason why I bring it up is all the mainstream media outlets picked it up, even down to The View. They're saying the Republicans are just weird. Like they all got just like the video that we showed in the beginning. Like we already know this, but we played that video, and we referred to it as an oldie but goodie because we've seen it, multiple times, for years. And I was like, I sent that to my parents. They're like, "Oh my god!" I was like, I just assumed you never suspected. Some of the shit was going on.
And it's going on. This isn't like we caught them this one time. The one time they did it.
Yeah.
This is happening every single day.
Everything that you're...
Down to, like you said, a micro level where some suburb in Sheboygan, Wisconsin, they're getting the message that they need to tell the people to get everybody on board with the thing. The thing that's, maybe it's small, but it's this thing that we are controlling people's minds with. Yeah. In that case, it was social media. No, it was basically doing your own research.
Yes.
Like getting information
that became
somewhere
pejorative.
Besides the news box.
Reading.
Yes. As Jimmy Dore calls it.
Yes. And so what they do, as I started looking into this, is they create basically like a polling organization. And these are these texts that you get. And so a bunch of people get a text that they knew were registered Democrats and say, like, how would you describe the Republican Party? And people go, like, weird. And they'd pick that up and aggregate the information and have a meeting and then tell these politicians, like, okay, like this will resonate with the people.
Yeah.
Go out and call them weird.
We did a think tank. We did the research. We polled people. This is going to work. Trust us.
Which it's kind of funny. Like, can you imagine those meetings? Like, just this like room full of white people, like educated white people going like, how do we reach these ruffians? You know what I mean? The construction worker and the Mexican laborer and the guy running the convenience store. Like, we got to figure out a way to talk to them. And it's like we need to like dumb it down. Because, I mean, these people...
They're dumb, obviously.
Yes. The brown or the dumber is what we're kind of figuring.
They are blue collar, after all.
We got that Gavin Newsom event coming up. Oh, cool. Who's it for? There's going to be a lot of black people there. It's like, okay, tell them you can't read.
Yeah, because black people can't read.
I think that'll really, really, connect with them. It's like, oh, my God, dude. What the fuck is wrong with you people?
Ironically, I think that happened to Trump in this Iran war thing, that he got polling that said that this was popular.
Yes.
So some think tank, probably like from Fox News, in the 11 o'clock hour where only people over 65 are watching, they pulled those people and they're like, yeah, bomb him.
Yeah.
And he got that information, which is incorrect.
Not true.
Armstrong and Getty got that same information.
Yeah. Like 4 out of 5 people were against this war of aggression, and they're drinking the Kool-Aid. They go like, that can't be right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're just gonna shove this aside.
Nah, just fucking bomb them.
Yeah, keep moving on. Okay, now this is when we started connecting to Iran. Do you remember this was last year, I believe, and Netanyahu assembled all the social media influencers and got them together.
$7,000?
Well, not just, we're going to get there. But he said, you guys are our greatest weapon because every war needs a propaganda campaign because we have to sell it somehow. And the kind of point of bringing this stuff in is not that these influencers or these politicians or some country in the Middle East are changing the hearts and minds of people to eventually have them support wars, is that you get bombarded with enough of a media narrative that people start thinking like, I'm not for this, but everyone else seems to be, including some of these influencers that I follow or people I go to for a podcast or a Twitter account or whatever. And you're like, well, that's not true either. It's like they are being paid. So remember he talked about, so if you take like a more recent event, Candace Owens was just about to release the, was it called Bride of Charlie Kirk?
Yeah.
An expose, a multi-part docuseries about Erica Kirk and her background, her connections to Daily Wire and the Children's Orphanage in Romania. And I mean, Candace Owens like gets out there. Now, all of these social like middle of the road kind of neocon social media influencers came out and they all like started to bury Candace Owens. And they all said the exact same thing, just like the original clip that we said. Do you remember some of the things they said?
No, I remember they called her anti-Semite, but they've been doing that forever.
Evil and demonic.
Evil and demonic. Yes, that's right.
Okay, this is where it gets
fun. Fucking Alex Jones.
Yeah.
This one of those people.
This is where it gets fun. Do you guys remember Milo Yiannopoulos? Yeah. He's basically a professional shit disturber. And I don't want to make that joke. Okay. Some fruit is too low hanging, even for this podcast. He's formerly gay. Okay, there.
We know.
This is what he writes.
Moving on.
This is what he writes. This is what he writes on Twitter. This is so perfectly worded. He goes, "Did you take money to call Candace Owens a demon on X? If so, we want to hear from you." And then he adds this. Let me rephrase. This is sober. I got my hands on the list. Fess up now or I'll name you later this week alongside the pathetic, pitiful sum of money you accepted to do it. And then people started piling on. This is from Project Constitution. Expose a multi-million-dollar psyop to silence Candace Owens before The Bride of Charlie drops today. This came out right before the first episode was supposed to come out. Mm-hmm. They're not even hiding it anymore. And then Matt Wallace jumps on. Big influencer. Full disclosure, I was offered money today to say bad things about Candace Owens, and I turned it down. And then do you remember Simon Godek? Dr. Simon Godek was really good on like the COVID stuff. He's like he was like another like Peter McCullough, Robert Malone. He was out there. He gets his hands on that actual email that was sent to these influencers, and it's like spelled out. It's kind of interesting. It goes, okay. Subject, urgent, shut down Candace's latest smear, action needed tonight. This isn't journalism, it's pure evil. Demonic slander against a widow still mourning, dragging Charlie's name and legacy through the mud for clicks and clout. We've seen her pattern before, but this time it's personal, it's vicious, and it has to stop. Here are your talking points. Use these verbatim or close variations. Candace Owens is pure evil, or just evil. This is demonic, straight up satanic level attack on a widow and her kids. Candace Owens is a demon obsessed with destroying Charlie's family. Action items. Do this now before it trends further. Quote or reply to this key post exposing, and it basically gives all these people the directions, like here's what you do, and here's exactly what you say. And Simon Godek creates an algorithm and lists out all the people. All you goes are like, okay, so these people that are kind of suspect, like what do they say on these social media platforms? And it's all at the exact same time, on the exact same day.
Evil and
all
demonic.
saying it, yes. Cat turd.
Sure.
Her buddy Cat turd.
Yeah.
So we got 4 categories. We got username, timestamp, verified wording, and then notes, memo, connection, right? So, cat turd. Candace Owens is pure evil. She's a demon straight from the bowels of hell. Notes and connection. Strong early match, tagged early in original memo. Graham Allen, you know him? He's like a big time right wing influencer guy.
Okay.
Yeah, I enjoy it when his show first. He's got a big show, and when it first came out, I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I'm like, I think he's one of them, you know. Same day, demonic attacked, evil. This evil has to be stopped. She's a demon. Notes and connection, heaviest pusher. Memo told followers to boost him. You know Gunther Eagleman?
Nope.
Another right wing. Same. These are all kind of in that same kind of sphere. Same day, same time. Evil woman, pure evil. Evil as fuck. Attacking children is not okay. Notes and connection, direct, pure evil, tagged in memo. The list is Bongino report. Same day, same time. You demonic scum. And rant about Candace's Siri. Notes and connection, exact demonic match. Dana Loesch, Laura Loomer, the Rubin report, Ben Shapiro, all saying the exact same thing on the exact same day.
But Ben Shapiro came clean about it?
No.
I thought he said that he got offered money.
I thought it was Levine.
That was Matt Wallace.
Oh, Matt Walsh.
Matt Wallace did. Not
Matt
Matt
Walsh.
Walsh.
Matt
Wallace. Yeah, different guy.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Yeah. He's just another, they're like online influencers, like people with tons and tons of followers.
Yeah.
And they were basically giving the marching orders, like, this is what you guys are going to say. Now, just like the Republicans are weird memo is free to read online, so was this campaign. Israel is paying social media influencers around $7,000 per post to promote its image in the U.S. as part of a campaign called the Esther Project, coordinated by the firm named Bridges Partners. This initiative aims to counter negative perceptions and boost pro-Israel content online. This is so frustrating because when you tell people this and they go like, "You're out of your mind," I'm like, "Here's the fucking, it's a PDF. Like you download it, you read it."
Do you know what's even worse than that? This is from the General on Twitter. Breaking: Israeli officials allegedly hired social media influencers for $7,000 per post, failed to pay them, and are now facing lawsuits totaling millions of dollars of unpaid invoices.
The original, but there was.
Do you have to just lean into the stereotype? I mean, what the fuck? Don't you know people are already thinking these things about you? God.
The original budget, they had a budget, was established. It was $900,000 for Project Esther. That's just for this specific, for the Candace Owens things, to bury the Erica Kirk documentary. And then I find the legal letter from FARA, was that the foreign
registration?
Yeah.
Foreign Agent Registration Act.
Dear Mr. Eisenberg, please accept this letter as a formal complaint regarding apparent violations of the Foreign Agents Registration Act, FARA, specifically 22 USC 612A, by approximately 14 to 18 U.S.-based social media influencers who appear to be operating as registered agents of the government of Israel. Bridge Partners, the people I brought before, a Delaware-based LLC, an Israeli firm based in Delaware for tax purposes.
Of course.
There's our stereotyping. It's compensating these individuals as part of a $900,000 contract on behalf of Israel's Ministry of Foreign Affairs to create content as described in Bridges Partners Exhibit AB form and registration, blah, blah, blah. So there's actually a lawsuit being filed on the behalf of FARA going like, hey, you guys can't live in the U.S. and basically be registered foreign agents for another country.
Yeah.
Working with Israel.
Right. Good. That's been a long time coming.
Yeah. So having people in the U.S. basically deny the needs of the country working for Israel, of course, that's something we're not going to tolerate in the land of the free.
No.
It's treason.
And then you get the... So I guess the point I want to bring up is that all media is garbage, but it's social media too. Like people going like, well, I'm going to go to a social media and get like Project Mockingbird has a Twitter account, pretty much, like at this point. And then you have to also think that this is only, all this was done just to bury Candace Owens, right?
Right.
That's not the only thing they're concerned about, if I can put this within the context of the events of the last week and a half. Like, when you're seeing all of these people also talking about, like, hey, we need to bomb the shit out of Iran, you know, we need to keep it going, and then we need to set our sights on Turkey. I was like, these same people, I mean, really put yourself in the mind of this person, right? You're a social media influencer. All these people are making millions of dollars a year, right? The easiest job in the world. So easy it didn't even exist like 5 years ago. And you get an email saying like, hey, we need you to go out and advertise this war for us. Reach out to all your low information followers and explain to them like why this is going to be a good thing. And you're a multimillionaire. And then you go like, oh, I'll look at it. And then you come across that story of like one of the first things that happened is a bomb hit a school and killed 148 school children between the ages of 7 and 12. And they're telling the story of how these children are digging through the rubble with their fucking bare hands because they can hear the screaming of their classmates underneath it. And you go like, man, that's rough. $7,000 though. How these people fucking sleep at night, dude, I have no idea.